Alright, so we pretty much wrapped up high school. That's when I kind of got into computers. I remember in high school class they used to we had to have a password for one of my computer classes, and my first password, it had to be 4 letters. Everybody was using like their initials or something, and I was like, nah, I'm going to go with DRGN because that's dragon with the vowels removed. And that was my first password, and then this is kind of interesting. At the end of senior year, I think somebody was having a party, and this one girl invited me to it. She was saying, "Yeah, we would come to this party. There's going to be 2 kegs there or something." And I was like, "No, I don't really drink." She's like, "Well, you don't have to drink. Just come hang out." And I was like, I just don't really think I'd have much fun. I didn't go. And that was kind of like the end of my social life. Like, I could have had a social life probably if I had went to this party. Probably took a wrong turn there. And then we graduated, and it was really sad because you could see the writing on the walls. T2 is going to be a lonely bastard. But then ended up buying a house. I worked at a convenience store for a while, selling chicken and lottery tickets, and that was kind of fun. There's a lot of drama. There's some chicks involved. Like Double D, we had this falling out. Didn't speak to her for 15 years. Dated this woman's daughter that I worked with. I dated my mom's best friend's daughter because she had a kid. Sort of. I mean, I wasn't even really dating, really. And she kind of abandoned me for this other guy that had money because his mom worked at her own Walmart, was the manager at the Walmart. And then there was this other chick that was like the comic book store guy's daughter. Which, if you think of it, you always think of the fucking Simpsons comic book guy. But it was kind of like that. We went on a date. That was pretty cool. And she was like, she couldn't stay with me because she was too big for this town. She was going to leave this town and make something of herself or something like that, And she's still there to this day, I think. I don't think she ever left. But, yeah. When I turned like 19, 20, I bought a house. It was a cheap, like $23,000 house, and this is kind of where I first got a puppy for the first time, and that didn't work out too good. It was just like a stray puppy, and like I used this string that was too small for like an outdoor lead, and came back from work one day, and she got wrapped up in it. And then I had a cat for a while, and the cat shit behind my Christmas tree, and I had to get rid of the cat. And let's see, after the convenience store job, I got another job as a parts manager for this place that made lumber handling equipment. And I kind of learned how things worked at that job. And like, mostly it was just driving a forklift around, but you also had to learn like how things go together and how things, and you kind of like figure out like, what's that Miyamoto quote, the samurai. He wrote in the Book of Five Rings. Joe Rogan talks about this. It's like, once you know the way broadly, you can see it in all things. That was kind of how that worked out. You kind of see how everything works once you understand how machines work. That was pretty true. But my house, it was pretty shitty. I remember I would close all the doors except for the room with my computer in it and the living room, so I could watch TV and use my computer. And the rest of the house, the kitchen, the bathroom was in, like, off the kitchen. It was weird. I guess they used to have an outhouse, because this was an old house, and like they put the bathroom in later. And the bedroom, I just think I was sleeping on the couch. Well, I slept on the bed, but it was like, in the wintertime, the toilet would freeze because it was so cold. So I was trying to save money on heat. Air conditioner wasn't too good. And, let's get on to the computer days. What games was I playing back then? This was Windows 95. This was my upgrade from the Doom and the Heretic and Hexen and Wolfenstein when I was playing Quake 2. And that got me into like the capture the flag thing with the laser mine CTF. You playing in the dark with the laser tripwires and things. And then Tribes 2 came along and I got into that pretty hardcore. As you know, that's where my name comes from. Napster came out. I started downloading a ton of music, and probably, I don't know if torrents started that early, but I was still downloading from the IRC channels probably. They had like Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it was like a frame every couple of seconds. It was really horrible. And then the guy at my work tried to teach me like how to build computers, or he was kind of trying to mentor me or something. I don't really understand why. It would like have me stay over after work and take computers apart. And they used like the Nobel system back then. Like nobody was even on Windows. I'm like, why are we on this old crap? And it doesn't make any sense. And he ended up being like a preacher at my grandma's church. He's still there now. I was reading a lot of Anne Rice novels at the time. That was big back then. Stephen King and Anne Rice, learning about vampires. And then my friends, Paul and Tom, they would hang out with me all the time at my house. And there's this other chick that used to come over too. And we would like hang out on chat rooms and like try to get her a boyfriend. But like, I don't know why. Like, she's pretty hot. I used to go to church with her, and I really should have made a move on her. I really wish I had. But my friends ended up getting girlfriends, and I never did. And I think my friend Tom lost his virginity in my house one time. Because me and the other guy, Paul, we left to give them some privacy. And came back and heard some stories. And then we used to do like Truth or Dare or something. It was weird. We had this hot girl that had like a barbershop down the street from me. And like we would always like try to spy on her. Well, not really, but we would make jokes about it. What else happened? I used to bring a lot of chicken home from the work. That was always great, man. Extra chicken at the end of the night. And my friend Paul worked at Pizza Hut, and he'd bring home pizzas, and we'd swap. And like, here, have a bunch of chicken. You have a bunch of pizza. And it's fucking dope. And then, this is what got me into like podcasting, I think. Me and my friend Tom used to ride around his trucks. He had like a brand new lease on a Ford Ranger. And me and my friend Tom, whenever we talked, we'd get to laughing so hard, we'd think of the funniest shit, and it was hilarious. I'm like, we got to start recording this. So one day I bought one of those micro cassette recorders, and we started taping them. And one time we went behind this, like a business or whatever, and like there was this old woman, like in the bushes, like in the weeds on the side of this gravel road, and I think she was taking a shit or taking a piss or something, and she came out, she was all mad at us because we caught her in the weeds. It was hilarious. I don't know what we used to talk about on those tapes. Wish I still had them. I don't think I have those anymore, but it was funny times. So then he ended up moving to Lexington. I was probably 21, 22, 23, something like that. And my job wasn't going too well. I could tell that I was going to end up getting laid off, probably because it wasn't a lot of work. And let me just take a chance and move to Lexington with him. So I moved up here. Or there to Lexington. And then, so you move out of your mom and dad's house, get into this house that I bought, right? And then I moved out of that one to Lexington. And then moved in with my friend in an apartment. I was only there for like 3 months, because he had like a 6-month lease. And when his lease was over, like he went back home and got married and left me there. So then after his lease was over, I got a cheaper place because it was a 2-bedroom. I went to a 1-bedroom apartment. So I moved like 4 different times in the space of like 3 or 4 years or something, probably. It kind of fucks with your mind. I started having all these weird dreams. Like, when you dream, if you move around a lot, I guess other people experience this. Like, if you move around a lot, you'll have dreams that you're in the wrong house, or that you're dreaming that you still live where you used to live, but nothing really makes sense. And it's kind of like you get disoriented and stuff. It's kind of like that. And then also just moving to a new city kind of makes you kind of queasy because everything's unfamiliar. You don't know where everything is, and it's disorienting. And like, so I started getting this weird nostalgia thing. Like I was talking about in the intro about how I get nostalgic for things that never happened to me before. And I started getting this weird feeling. I talked about it in a video before, where it was like you're standing on a beach, and like one leg's in the water and one leg's on dry land, and the ocean, the water symbolizes like all the knowledge in the world. And it's kind of like that once you see the way broadly you see it in all things kind of thing. Like you kind of, sometimes I'll look at my hand and I'll realize I'm an actual living being and I'm going to die one day and shit, and I just kind of get nauseous from it, or like scared but not really. And it's also kind of a nostalgic feeling, and I'll start thinking of things that like I used to do but I didn't, because I didn't actually experience it. It's hard to explain. It's like trying to describe a dream when it's fleeting from you, Like the other day I had this dream that I was a CEO of a corporation or something, But it didn't feel like a dream. It felt like I was actually like a past life, like I used to be a CEO or something. Kind of like they say how the world's all an illusion and we're all just like in a simulation playing a game. Like maybe I'm the CEO of the company that made the game that the reality is or something. Kind of felt like that. So yeah, anyway. That all was pretty weird. And then I moved into the second apartment. And I got a different job. And that's where I met Tina Gilmore from the Gilmore Saga and lost my virginity at the ripe old age of 25. She was like 20. And that whole story I took off of YouTube because she has a family now and it was kind of embarrassing. I don't think she wanted people knowing about it. I don't know. I may eventually talk about it again. But like I said in my other videos, every section of my life I have a crazy idea that doesn't work out. And I try to make some money. And in this one, I was like, when I first moved into my house, see, I was ahead of the curve, like I said. People didn't have websites for their companies at this time. This was a whole new concept. Nobody had websites. And I figured there was all these people selling antiques all over the place. So my idea was, eBay was kind of getting big. So I'd go around and I would kind of be a broker for antique dealers. I would take their antiques. I would photograph them. I would put them on eBay for them. I would sell them and I would take a commission. That was my plan. Nobody really wanted to do it. One place actually already had something online. But this one guy, he had like a bunch of weird stuff. He had like these old piano rolls for like player pianos. And he had like these walking sticks made out of bull dicks. For like a bull that has a dick. You take the dick off and you wrap it around a stick. And then somehow you freeze it or you cover it in lacquer. And you made canes out of it. It was gross. And like his son was kind of an artist, and he would take wood and he would whittle it and make it look like a lit cigarette. He had a bunch of those. But I remember like I was taking pictures of these like lead army men, or they're supposed to be pretty rare or something, and trying to sell those online and some other things. But I don't think it even sold. It was kind of just a trash fire of an idea. It went horribly wrong, like all things did. But yeah, that kind of got me into eventually making YouTube videos. That was, let's see, I was at the new apartment. I don't know if I ever made any YouTube videos when I was at that apartment in Lexington, at the Gilmore Saga. Yeah, I might have. It might have been real early days. I can't remember what my earliest YouTube video was because I didn't use a camera for the first several videos. I was just editing other things. But that was my early 20s. I mean, there's a lot of other girls mixed into there, because I did kind of date a little bit, but maybe that's a video for another time. There wasn't a whole lot of girls mixed in there. I'm just thinking like elementary school shit, but yeah, that pretty much covers it.